Well, more and more Americans disapproving of President Joe Biden's handling of the southern border as border authorities say they are overwhelmed by the surge of migrants. And Chuck DeVore of the Texas Public Policy Foundation explains what we did not see in that shocking footage at the border. Watch.
Let's go back to the riot in El Paso. What you didn't see in those videos was you didn't see any Border Patrol agents. And that's because they're so busy processing the illegal aliens that are violating our laws that the only people who were on the border were Texas National Guard and Texas Department of Public Safety troopers. All the Border Patrol were in processing.
Joining us now from House Armed Services and Foreign Affairs Committees is Congressman Cory Mills. Congressman, good to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, David.
Chuck DeVore is exactly right. I mean, and isn't what he says exactly what would have happened had that Senate bill, the Democrat Senate bill on the border had passed? That is, we would have had more personnel, but they just would have been doing more processing.
Well, you'd have had more personnel, but you'd have obviously had what was I declared as an amnesty bill, where the emergency responses would not even be enacted by the secretary unless over 5,000 occur in a single day. And so you wouldn't have actually have seen this tamp down the numbers. You'd have just seen more Border Patrol officers processing more people coming in. But here's the shocker. While we're focused on the borders and we're thinking about the numbers, the 200,000, the 300,000 that are coming in monthly, you just saw from the Center of Immigration Studies by one of their investigator, Bensman, who said that over 326,000 people from migrant areas such as Venezuela, Honduras, Guatemala, where they're dumping their prisons, have now been flown into our country. And in fact, that's the number that flew in just to Florida alone. And so now you look at the original numbers that are being reported from Eagle Pass, El Paso, and all the others, and now the 326,000 that's been coming here under this humanitarian parole program that's not been approved by Congress, that is now adding to the numbers as well. So this is a very scary thing, and it's unconstitutional. And I think that this speaks further to why the Senate needs to take very seriously the House approved and House passed impeachment orders against Secretary Mayorkas.
Now, Congressman, you represent Florida, and there's new word out that all of those migrants that the federal government has been flying to different parts of the country, 90% of those immigrants land up in Texas and Florida. Ain't that a coincidence? Exactly those states that he was fingering for sending immigrants to other states. Do you think that's a coincidence, or is this payback?
Well, this isn't coincidence. In police work, they call this a clue. It's very clear that the Biden administration is going after red states and meanwhile ignoring the fact that he's violating his constitutional oath. You know, imagine, if you will, for a moment, David, that he planned and coordinated airlifts like this into Israel and into Haiti to rescue Americans, which is what his actual job is to do, as opposed to people like myself having to go over there and do this to shame them into it. And instead, he's flying 326,000 illegal migrants into the state of Florida to add to the already robust numbers. And what the key is to this, they want these individuals to actually participate in these consensus surveys that allows them, as this Democrat Party wanted to pack the courts and the Supreme Court, allows them to pack for more representatives in the high dense population metropolitan areas and rural areas to be able to change the maps. That's what this is about. It's the replacement theory. And in my opinion, this is treason and impeachable offenses.
By the way, let me just say finally before saying goodbye, you really are heroic. And I got it. For those who don't know the history of what this congressman did, I grew up in Washington, D.C. I saw a lot of politicians. I didn't see anybody go out there and do the work that you have actually been doing in rescuing American lives from those Americans who are stuck in dangerous countries. So thank you for your service.
Thank you, David.
I appreciate it, Congressman. Thank you for coming here.